Hello everyone, I hope you've been well. As you can tell by the title, I'm going to have a little bit of a chat about all of my tattoos. Now, I have pretty much wanted tattoos since I was quite young, and then on my 18th birthday I did get my first one. I know tattoos aren't everybody's thing, so let's just remain respectful. People get tattoos for various different reasons. I tend to get them to commemorate things that I love or media that I really enjoy, or even just a really good memory. Now, I do have a lot of pop culture tattoos, so keep that in mind, along with some really beautiful illustrated work too. I do tend to have somewhat of a style, and I'd like to kind of stick to that a little bit. So I think what we'll do is we'll just dive on into it. It'll probably me being like, yes, I love said series very much, so I got a tattoo from it. There's definitely a lot of them, but there are some cute stories weaved into them as well. Let's get into it. If I'm going to start from the very beginning, the very first tattoo I got is on my arm, which is kind of awkward to show. It is this lovely two koi fish circling around a yin yang. I knew I wanted yin yang to be my very first tattoo. The meaning behind it has always been really special to me, and when I was a bit younger I got quite into Taoism and just having a look at different spiritualities. And I guess the yin yang always stuck with me, and it's such an important thing to me, so that was what I chose to do first. And in terms of the koi, I just think they're a really pretty fish. People sometimes ask if it's an Avatar reference, and at the time it wasn't, but I'm perfectly fine if people think it is, because that's also a fantastic scene. Sticking with my arm, just below the fish I have this little ammonite stone up here. This one's a bit of a mix. I mean, I just love the aesthetic of ammonite. My mum is from Queensland, so I've spent a lot of time up there, and it being close to the beach, you get lots of ammonite shells, jewellery, so many beautiful pieces, and I don't know, I just really love the history of it, and I think fossils are really interesting. So I've got that guy up there. Turning around, we've got this lovely little lion monster up on my arm. Basically, it was inspired by a chimera, where you have the lion, the goat, the snake, or a variety of different creatures. I knew I wanted one super nostalgic for me. I really loved Greek mythology, and I still love it today. And he's actually in this lovely crawling tiger stance, which is a very common tattoo a lot of people get. Is the China traditional, usually it's like a lion or a tiger, but having my little spin of the chimera is really cool. Moving on up, we have my lovely little half sleeve here. It's a few different things all put together. This is my Critical Role and the Adventure Zone sleeve. Basically everything on there has to do with it. If you're kind of starting from the bottom, I've got the lovely red gem, which is a reference to Jester. She has it from her mum, so I don't know, I always kind of think reminds me of my mum, which is why I love it. And then we also have the umbrella with the hand, slight Taz spoilers if you know what that one is. Then we have the classic sword, then you have the kind of compass, which of course is an essential. Moving up, we have my lovely pirate ship. I love boats and pirates so much. I, as myself, get very motion sickness, so I can't ever really experience it. So living through D&D and fantasy is how I get that. I just think the aesthetic is so beautiful. I do have the little eye there for little Ukatoa as well. Ford was one of my favourite characters in Critical Role Campaign 2. I've got the lovely raven up there. Bit of a mix of everything, bit of Kravitz, bit of Vax. And then we have the blue lightning, which I think is my favourite part of the sleeve. I just love the colour, and this is a reference to Yasha. Then on the very back of my arm, I do have a big old void fish with little music notes scattered around as well. When I first started thinking about like a D&D podcast inspired tattoo, I had no idea what to do. I honestly was thinking about it for like a year and a half before I got it, just because I tend to think of something I love and what I want and know that I want it obviously forever, and then I'll kind of think about where I could put it, because I think where I put it is just as important as what I decide to get. And so I kind of ended up deciding to do the half sleeve. I thought this would be perfect, and I basically just grabbed a bunch of illustrations and things that I loved about a Critical Role or the Adventure Zone, passed it to my tattoo artist, and she just did a stunning job of kind of putting it together and making it sit really well on my arm. I do have a little tattoo just on the inside here which says "Save the Cheerleader." My dad has Save the World. It's a reference from a TV show called Heroes. Bit of a meme tattoo, but it's something we always say together, and yeah, I love having a matching tattoo with my dad. Moving on to my other arm, one of my newer ones is this lovely red Haku from Spirited Away. I knew I wanted a Studio Ghibli piece for a long time, and I finally decided I need to get a dragon. I love dragons so much, and I really wanted to try the red ink. It's a slightly darker one. I think it looks really lovely against my skin tone. I really wanted something slightly different from this arm as well. I just think it looks really fantastic having the red and then the black, and again, just the position he's in is just so lovely. I love what my artist decided to do. Moving around to my wrist, I have the little lotus tile from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yeah, and I got that with one of my friends, and it's, yeah, just a really lovely memory, but also I just adore, you know, anything Avatar: The Last Airbender related, especially if it's got to do with Uncle Iroh. Moving to the side, I do have my text, and this was my first text I ever got. It says, make the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails, throw away the plan. This is actually a quote from Legends of Tomorrow, which is a superhero show. It's a little bit silly, but it was kind of a joke when we were first watching that TV show. The actor of the character who says this is Wentworth Miller, who I just adore. I love pretty much everything he's in. We were kind of going through a lot of the Arrowverse during the pandemic, and so especially the first kind of initial isolation stages, and it just, so many things were going wrong in life that we just kept referring to this. The final straw is that I was actually doing my last year of my creative arts degree during the pandemic, like when it first started in 2020. So it was just a whole mess of, you know, our final exhibitions and everything, and we had to organize all these things, and we were just playing it day by day because suddenly we could have guests and then we couldn't, and we could serve food and then we couldn't, and it was all over the place. I got chosen to be in another exhibition after that, and we had a whole plan laid out, and when we got there they were like, nope, we're going to do something different, so we literally just had to just go with it. And I think after that whole interaction we were like, yep, we need these tattoos, because if that just isn't life summed up. Moving on to my back, I do actually have a tattoo on my neck which I kind of forget about because I can't actually see it even in the mirror. It is the little squiggles for the Spidey sense. This one's directly from Into the Spider-Verse, which is my favourite movie ever. I just think it's really cute, my little Spidey sense, and it kind of peeks out from behind my shirt, which I really love. And then just below it I have one of my larger pieces, and this is from the book series The Stormlight Archive. It's kind of a really long story and I won't go too much into it, but the characters in the book, they actually get this tattoo on their forehead. Basically it's being freed from like a really crap environment. Long story. And I don't know, I think that series just means the world to me. It's my favourite book series. All the characters mean a lot to me. I don't know, it was kind of, I kind of see it as a sign of like being triumphant and you know, going against adversity or getting past, you know, problems in my life. You know, not that my dramas are necessarily as intense as they were in the book, but I don't know, it's just, the aesthetic of it is beautiful, but it reminds me that I'm strong and I can get through anything. Moving down, we'll start with my left leg. I have a really big thigh piece of a wolf with kind of some lovely galaxy blue and purple colours, some stars and a moon as well. This was the second tattoo I ever got. I got it when I was working in a job that, it wasn't a terrible job, but it was really stressful for me. I was struggling a lot, and so my first paycheck actually went towards this. This is based off of an artist, Kaira Bautista? Gosh, I'm probably butchering that. I've been following her art for such a long time. I just kind of thought it was kind of very interesting and unique and really beautiful to look at. Each of them was kind of her telling a story, but I mean, you know, just as with any art, we're able to interpret our own things from it as well. I just fell in love with it. Again, it was another thing I knew that I would get tattooed pretty much as soon as I got into her art. You know, I love the Starry Night, I love wolves. You know, it does kind of suit the rest of the aesthetic that I then went for as I added more tattoos. Around it I have a couple of lovely symbols. The one on my inner thigh is the Kryptonian symbol for hope. Obviously, big superhero fan, especially Smallville. That was just my childhood, was Superman and Tom Welling as Superman. I think some of the slightly later seasons, you do kind of see more of that Kryptonian language. And yeah, I mean, I won't go too into it, but hope is a really important word to me. One of those things where you just have a word that you really like, or it's one of your favorite words, and that's hope for me. So instead of getting hope tattooed, I just got the Kryptonian symbol for hope instead. On the other side, I have my Star Trek tattoo. Of course, big Star Trek fan. Not a whole lot more to say. I just really wanted the Starfleet insignia, especially. Just above my knee, I have my Voltron tattoo, which I do not regret in the slightest. As crap as the last season was, and you know, we don't talk about that. I think there was just something so special about, you know, waiting for the new season of Voltron to go out, you know, just talking about it with friends and having such a fun time with it. Honestly, the characters still mean a ton to me, and I'm never not gonna love them. So, you know, even if I didn't love the last season, it's still a tattoo that I'm so happy that I have. Just on the back of my leg, just kind of below my knee area, is a Nightwing tattoo. I never really got into a whole lot of DC characters except for Superman until much later. And my Nightwing actually started with the Titans TV show, which is, you know, it's okay, it has its ups and downs, but that kind of got me really interested in Nightwing and a lot of the other Robins as well, and just Dick Grayson, he's just the best. And it wasn't until I kind of found this idea of like his silhouette inside his own symbol, so it's kind of a really nice mix of like his older design mixed with his like newer suit as well. Moving down to my ankles, on one side I have my little spider. He again is the spider from Into the Spider-Verse. I just love the kind of like neon coloring of it, and as you can kind of see, I do have a lot of kind of monsters and animals. Super duper my aesthetic. I just love how they look in kind of the line work or more of the illustrated style. I could just, yeah, I'm probably going to continue to get ones like that. He's got a little 42 on his butt as well, which is so cute. I love it. On the other side, this is my very fantastic Our Flag Means Death tattoo. This was probably the least amount of thought that went into the tattoo. Just like everybody else, as soon as I watched Our Flag Means Death, I was like, cool, this is now my personality. Yeah, I pretty much instantly emailed one of the tattoo studios asking if they could get it done for me. I kind of waited a little bit just because I did want to find a design I really loved. There was a stunning artist on Twitter. They had done these beautiful designs for them, and you know, not everyone could go see them. They were across the other side of the world for me, but they mentioned that we were more than welcome to use their designs. So it was really lovely. I kind of found this one here. I loved the symbolism of the Kraken, the lighthouse. Again, that kind of darker illustrated work just really suited the rest of my tattoos. And of course, I had to have the Never Left there as well. Switching over to the other leg, my newest tattoo is actually this one on the back of my calf. This was a flash piece. Usually I don't get flash pieces because I do tend to be quite picky with how I want them to look, and you know, usually they are either related to specific artists or media or memories that I love. But this piece, oh, I just loved it so much. As soon as I saw it, it kind of gave me like really lovely fantasy vibes. You can kind of see below here, I've got a picture here, which kind of, it also reminded me of that, and I just love that image so much. Kind of gave me slight Assassin Apprentice of vibes as well, which is another book series that I really enjoy. Yeah, and so I just kind of went ahead with it. Again, I thought it would just look really lovely there, and I'm so happy with it. It's in a lovely dot style, which I haven't gotten before. And yeah, I just think it really suits the rest of what I've got going on really well. Just below that, I do have a little Teen Wolf tattoo. Yes, I have a Teen Wolf tattoo, and I love it. It says the sun, the moon, the truth. Basically, they're like, the full saying is that 3 things cannot long be hidden: the sun, the moon, the truth. Basically, it was almost a little bit of a mantra some of the characters used to like remain calm and not, you know, go all werewolfy. And I don't know, I think it's really poetic and beautiful. Then on the outer bits of my ankle, I have my little monster and little Max. Those guys are from Where the Wild Things Are, which is a children's book. but it was really big when I was in primary school. Our teachers would often read it to it. And again, it's just such a mix of nostalgia and love for that book because, I mean, who doesn't want to run away and get lost in an adventure and be the king of monsters? Like, sorry, that's my dream right there. And honestly, just the illustration is so pretty. Alrighty, I think I've managed to cover all my tattoos. Honestly, I could talk about them for hours on end, but I've tried to keep it at least a little bit succinct for you today. I certainly have many more tattoo plans in the future, and in all honesty, it just makes me love myself a little bit more. I know it's a little bit hard to explain to people who maybe aren't interested in tattoos or don't have them, but I don't know, I never loved my body more than when I have these tattoos on me. They make me feel like who I'm meant to be, they make me feel like myself, and yeah, because all of mine are kind of very fond memories or things that I love, just looking at them really brightens up my day. So yeah, I look forward to getting more. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!